From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Evening Edition.
Now at 5, the impact of the impasse. What we know as the government shutdown enters day 4.
My caucus and Democrats are adamant that we must protect the health care of the American people.
The House will come back into session and do its work as soon as Chuck Schumer allows us to reopen the government.
Plus, the businesses along the Embarcadero brace for a scaled-back Fleet Week.
Fleet Week is one of the biggest weekends of the year for us. We see the most tourists, most business. We sell the most. A little disappointing. We're hoping to see a really big turnout and hoping it still happens.
From 5 in San Francisco, I'm Brian Hackney.
And I'm Andrea Nakano. We begin tonight with the government shutdown, now in its 4th day with no end in sight.
Lawmakers have left Washington, at least for the weekend, and maybe longer, as Speaker Mike Johnson cancels next week's scheduled votes on the measure designating a district work period for the House. Republicans are hoping that tactic will force Senate Democrats back to the table.
The GOP needs at least 8 senators to cross the aisle in order to fund the government. Willie James Inman has the latest from Washington.
As the federal government prepares to enter a second week of a shutdown, the finger pointing between Republicans and Democrats continues.
We're in the midst of a government shutdown that has been caused by Donald Trump and Republicans to inflict further pain on the American people. The government is shut down right now because Donald Trump and Republicans refuse to provide health care to working class Americans.
The motion upon reconsideration is not agreed to.
On Friday, the Senate voted and once again failed to move forward with a short-term spending bill to fund the government until mid-November, extending the shutdown. Democrats want more health care funding, including an extension of affordable health care tax credits.
My caucus and Democrats are adamant that we must protect the health care of the American people.
House Speaker Mike Johnson canceled plans for the chamber to return to Washington next week, a move that effectively puts pressure on the Senate to act.
So the House will come back into session and do its work as soon as Chuck Schumer allows us to reopen the government. That's plain and simple.
Meanwhile, the White House is threatening to lay off thousands of federal employees, adding that the move will cut costs.
Nobody wants to do that, but sometimes in government you have to make tough decisions.
The ongoing government shutdown means a number of federal workers, including TSA agents at airports, will have to continue work without pay. The shutdown is also expected to continue to impact a number of museums and national parks.
In Oakland, Congresswoman Latifah Simon had strong words for the GOP as she met with local federal workers impacted by the stoppage.
The tens of thousands of federal workers in the Bay Area, even outside of our district, federal workers and county workers, they are standing with me and my colleagues and saying absolutely hands off our health care, hands off taking away the dignity of our seniors, hands off Social Security, hands off NIH funding cuts, hands off staffing and taking away all that we've worked to build. The social safety net for Americans is not up for grabs.
Simon says she will return to D.C. next week, a stance Democrats across the board are echoing despite no votes being scheduled.
Even with the government shutdown, San Francisco's popular annual Fleet Week will still go on, but it will be in a modified, scaled-back form. The original headliners, of course, the Blue Angels, are currently on pause, but not canceled outright, not yet anyway. Organizers say that if Congress approves a budget soon, the Blue Angels and other branches of the U.S. military could still join in. Hear the musical tunes of Pier 39, that's where Dial In is. And where many waterfront businesses say that Fleet Week is one of their most profitable events of the year. Hey, Doc.
Hey, Brian, yeah, this is a big disappointment for sure at this point, but typically this time of year, Fleet Week, it's all hands on deck for waterfront businesses, but right now, a lot of uncertainties. Some businesses are still planning to stock up and have extra staff, but they do anticipate the crowd sizes to be a little smaller than years past. music, dancing, outdoor bars.
Have a good day.
And a sea of people. All part of the 47th birthday celebration for the world-famous Pier 39.
We've got the birthday and entertainment zone followed up with next weekend is Fleet Week, so we're going to have hopefully a pretty good first half of the October.
Bob Partwright manages 5 restaurants and a coffee shop at the pier. He's hoping the government shutdown doesn't spoil the fun because Fleet Week is a huge moneymaker for waterfront businesses.
It is one of the busiest weekends of the year, so as that winds down, you know, we are officially out of summer once Fleet Week ends.
For now, the Blue Angels and other U.S. military jets are on hold. Instead, the Royal Canadian Air Force Snowbirds will headline Fleet Week. The private Patriots jet team and the United 777 will also perform. Organizers say there'll still be plenty to see.
Yeah, a little disappointing. We're hoping to see a really big turnout and hoping it still happens, but with scale back, it might not.
At Fisherman's Wharf, some businesses have already stocked up on food and new merchandise, like these Blue Angels toys. But some owners say they may now cancel plans to bring in extra staff.
Fleet Week is one of the biggest weekends of the year for us. We see the most tourists, most business. We sell the most.
Organizers say the 3-day military celebration usually draws tens of thousands of visitors to the San Francisco waterfront.
Thank you guys very much.
Bob says he's still optimistic about next weekend.
Foot traffic might be slightly less because there's no Blue Angels, but we're still planning and anticipating a very strong weekend, and we're not changing any operations, scheduling, purchasing because the Blue Angels aren't flying. We're going full steam ahead.
Yeah, a little ironic. Canadians coming to save the day here for the San Francisco Fleet Week. Now, the Blue Angels have already flown back to Florida. There's a chance that they can still be part of this Fleet Week if they get the green light from the government. Typically, here's the schedule. On Thursday, the Blue Angels do a practice run, and then they perform from Friday to Sunday. So as you can see, time is running out. There would be some kind of a quick decision that would have to be made for the Blue Angels to make it for next week's Fleet Week. Live here at Pier 39. I'll send it back to you, Brian.
Do you have any idea when they're going to make, if there's a deadline for the decision? Oh, sorry, Daw's gone, but it's a good question, isn't it? While it's still unclear whether the U.S. Navy will be able to send its ships or the Blue Angels, there will be plenty of other sights to see at Fleet Week, but it will be, as Daw pointed out, the Canadians. Their Snowbirds military aerobatics team flies 9 turbojets with speeds topping 350 miles an hour. In some formations, the jets are less than 6 feet apart. Snowbirds will be flying in the air show next weekend, Friday through Sunday. Indra?
California International Air Show, or as most locals call it, the Salinas Air Show, has wowed crowds for 44 years. Many aviation enthusiasts in the Bay Area consider it the opening act leading into Fleet Week. But with the Blue Angels grounded due to the government shutdown, it was a chance for civilian planes to put on a show.
This is a very rare opportunity. We do a lot of...
It was quite a show as planes buzzed above the skies of Salinas. The U.S. Navy Blue Angels were set to perform at the air show for the first time since 2019 and stayed there until Thursday. But 8 jets were then ordered back to their home base in Florida. The only sign of the Navy's fleet, these 6-inch figurines and other merchandise. All U.S. military planes were grounded due to the ongoing government shutdown. Harry Wardwell, executive director of the air show, says while disappointing, they are not going to let that dampen the mood.
And it's our 44th show. We're disappointed that we didn't have the U.S. military here, but you can see there are a lot of happy air show fans. Families are out spending the day.
Instead, people got to see the future of aviation take the skies. Joby and Archer showed off their electrical vertical takeoff and landing air taxis.
This is a electric aircraft, so completely electric. It got 4 battery packs and it drives 6 propulsion systems, and that's really one of the unique things about it. It's clean, it's all electric, and it's also what allows us to have an aircraft that's extremely quiet.
It wasn't just planes in the air. On the ground, future aviators and engineers had a chance to dream big at the STEM exhibit for kids.
We're going to go to wing number.
In Berkeley, the governor signed a bill on Friday giving more than 800,000 Uber and Lyft drivers in California the right to unionize.
We were a few minutes late because we were with members of SEIU International. I just signed a bill today around gig workers. Has the prospect of organizing up to 800,000 members in the gig economy into the union to give them voice, to give them choice, give them dignity, and a say about their future.
And this agreement will still classify drivers as independent contractors and does not apply to delivery apps like DoorDash. Part of the new deal will also cut the insurance requirements caused by underinsured drivers for both Uber and Lyft.
Well, meanwhile, San Francisco's new speed cameras are already having a major impact on Bay Area drivers. More than 16,000 drivers were sent tickets just in August, according to data from the SFMTA. That's an average of more than 600 a day. The city says the cameras have caused a huge shift in driver behavior already. We heard from one who admits she's been caught by the cameras multiple times in the Crocker, Amazon neighborhood.
We notice the speed cameras because we get notices at our houses that we've been warned. And then once you know where the camera is, I do feel like there's a change in speed.
City officials say they will keep tracking the data closely and that the total of the tickets issued was worth more than $1.2 million in fines. Zoe?
Well, this was the storm system that impacted us over the past several days, but look at California now. We're on the back end of that system. It is dry, it's clear, it's quiet, and it's going to be heating up. I'll let you know how hot it's going to get, when and where, coming up in my full forecast. Well, we've seen a pretty wild weather pattern, especially for this time of year. Normally it's dry and hot, and those dry and hot conditions are just around the corner. Let's take a look at that big picture pattern, though, and show you what we've been seeing, because as you can tell, there was a lot of active weather across the west coast of the United States. This area of snow and rain that I'm currently stepping on, and we can zoom in on just to kind of show you the mess of weather that it brought us and what it's now currently bringing the northern plains and the Rockies right now. Like I said, yeah, snow is actually falling on top of the Rockies. You can kind of see that snow in those colors in pink and purple, while the rest of it, it's just rain. We didn't see any of that snow or cold weather per se here. We did see a few of those flurries in the Sierra, but now we're on the tail end of that system where we are just seeing the drier air sinking in behind it. California, it's quiet, it is clear out there. It's actually pretty gorgeous. But then you notice something in the distance. There is another storm system that's actually going to be heading our way by the time that we step out mid to late next week. Up until then, we're actually going to be noticing a very weak disturbance that's going to be moving offshore. You can barely even see it because it's not going to be bringing us all too much cloud coverage. But what it is going to be doing is bringing us offshore winds. And those offshore winds are going to begin developing Monday and into Tuesday, allowing those temperatures to warm up before that area of low pressure officially pushes down even farther south. And you can actually see that area of low pressure spinning, getting stronger off the coast. And it's going to continue to bring us cooler weather again mid to late this upcoming week. But today, tomorrow, Monday, and Tuesday are going to be absolutely gorgeous until this area of low pressure begins to impact us. So it's really interesting to see the impact of that area of low pressure later this week. But this weekend, it is going to be really, really nice. No weather issues to worry about. This is our current satellite imagery. Barely a cloud out there. There was a little bit of fog earlier this morning along our coastal communities. We are actually expecting a little bit more fog to develop overnight tonight. Right now, though, it is comfortable out there. Those temperatures inland are sitting in the upper 70s from our inland East Bay down into the Santa Clara Valley, mid to lower 70s across our North Bay, upper 60s for areas by the bay, and low 60s directly along the coast. But like I said, everybody is going to begin seeing a lot more sunshine. Although a little bit of fog is possible overnight tonight and into early tomorrow, it's not going to be anything too crazy. We are expecting those high temperatures to warm up tomorrow afternoon, a degree or two above what we felt today. We're expecting a few more of those 80s sprinkled in there, especially across our inland areas, mid to upper 80s. Closer to the coast, you'll be in the mid to upper 70s. And maybe you want to head down to Monterey and you'll be seeing those high temperatures. Gorgeous out there for this time of year, in the 70s closer to our coastal communities, 80s over near Hollister. Again, absolutely lovely weather over the next several days. It's not going to last for much longer than Tuesday, though, as those offshore winds begin to change direction, coming in from onshore, cooling down those temperatures back to below average by the mid to later parts of this upcoming week. All things to keep in mind, and enjoy the more summer-like weather while you can.
And welcome back. Up in Marin County, a new club is swapping condiments for calculus, using a data-driven approach to find the best burger in the Bay Area. Here's Itai Hod.
Once a month, A bus full of dads makes its way through the winding country roads of Northern California, driven by a single obsession.
Gentlemen, get your jackets. We're starting to walk up there.
Finding the perfect burger.
3 6/8.
Yair Levine is one of the founders of the Marin Burger Club, a group that bills itself as the most data-driven burger association in the world.
More than anything, it's a silly, silly topic that we take very, very seriously. Here's our house, Dillon Burger.
This time, they're checking out Coastal Kitchen, a restaurant in Dillon Beach, where Chef Zachary Yegas is serving up his famous Quarter Pounder.
We have sauteed mushroom onion with garlic, crispy bacon on top, and then we're just cooking it to perfection.
In the last 12 years, they've tasted more than 1,500 burgers. But tonight, they're trying to break the world record for the biggest burger evaluation in history. 54 dads measuring everything from the patty to the fries using a patented tool they call the Burger Majigger.
What I like to do is kind of squeeze that.
Jason Vanderbrand, tech exec by day, burger judge by night,
This is an exceptional burger.
says this club isn't so much about the beef as it is about the bonding.
More than anything, we now know each other as a community, as a bunch of dads that are raising our children together.
They don't accept freebies or discounts. Everything here is paid in cash. Once the measuring is done, Jeff Mylan, the club's chief technology officer, crunches the numbers. The final score.
New top 10, 9th place!
And after all is said and done,
Hot buns and fresh meat!
the only thing they take to go can't be boxed or bagged. It's the friendships they relish.
Living the dream there, right there.
Yeah.
It's nice to have something to do. That's it for us at 5. Local news continues streaming on CBS News Bay Area. We'll see you back in 30 minutes.